Stephanie Stock from Ohio Advocates for Medical Freedom. Today we have the pleasure of speaking with Libertarian verified candidate Ryan McClain, who is running for House Rep in District 14. Ryan, do you want to just tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started?
Yes, of course. My name is Ryan McClain. I'm a Libertarian advocate from Middleburg Heights, Ohio. I graduated from Brook High School in 2017. I am currently a student at Mansfield University of Pennsylvania.
Okay, great. Was there one experience in time or a moment in time when you said, hey, I feel like I want to run for office?
I've been thinking about it since my senior year of high school, actually. I've been involved in politics since the 2016 Gary Johnson campaign.
Oh, okay, great. And I just recently saw one of your posts. I loved it. The one that said, just a bunch of kids, what do they know? 1776. How many of those representatives were actually very young? And I think it's great. I think we need some fresh blood at the State House, young individuals who understand the Constitution and they understand freedom. So I think it's great that we've got some young people in the running here. Could you touch briefly on your campaign platform and what you hope to do if you're elected?
My campaign platform?
Yeah.
Okay, so my most important issue is educational freedom. I believe that there should be more choice in education. I believe in total abolishment of standardized testing. I think that educational standards, sure, there should be a few from the state, but the majority of standards should be made by the school districts themselves, and the parents should have a say as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with you. I actually homeschool because I just don't like the public school system. So I'm going to do it my way.
Yeah, neither do I. As somebody who went through a public school system, trust me, it sucked.
Well, but sometimes my kids think I suck too, but I'm like, hey, I'm your teacher. I'm what you got. Could you tell us a little bit about what in your own life kind of drove you on the medical freedom and informed consent issue? Is this something that you've been hearing about or something that personally affected you in any way?
Well, my brother is disabled, and so like he has a compromised immune system. We got him the flu shot because, well, it's what you're supposed to do, right? And he had an adverse reaction. He actually ended up getting the flu from it. So I think that there should at least be some sort of informed consent regarding vaccinations.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of times, unfortunately, we learn about vaccine risk awareness because we have a family member that becomes injured. My dad almost died from a flu shot, so I can sympathize with you there. It's a very scary time for people when you have to go through something like that. Have you heard from anyone else? I mean, other than your family, do you know of any others that have been affected in this area?
Not in this area, but I am part of the Libertarian Party of Ohio, and I don't know if you know who Elizabeth Thomas is, but she said something about one of her kids being vaccine injured, something about seizures.
Yeah, I'm actually interviewing Elizabeth after you today, so yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I think we are seeing more and more of that issue of vaccine injury, or even just people being bullied at their doctor's offices and things like that. I mean, it's really a parental rights issue. It doesn't matter whether it's what medical procedure it is, whether it's vaccination or anything.
I see it as a bodily autonomy issue. I mean, the government should absolutely have no right to force a needle down your arm. That should be your choice and your choice alone.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, parental rights in the sense of when you have children, but definitely bodily autonomy. I mean, we're struggling with that with the flu shot mandate here in our state. Most of the medical facilities and hospitals are mandating flu shots for employment, which is absolutely wrong. I don't know if you've had a chance to take a look at our bill, HB 193, but it is a bill to prevent employers from firing you or discriminating against you if you don't want to take a flu shot. We've had it sitting. This is its second time now that it's been sitting there, still not passed. They really like to let things like that die while they pass Groundhog Appreciation Days and things like that, unfortunately. And bodily autonomy goes to the wayside. But I'm sure with someone like you, you would definitely fight for a bill like that, I would presume.
Yes, I am willing to endorse a bill like that. Although I haven't read the full text, but from what you're telling me, I support it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Do you believe that Ohio legislators realize that conscious and religious freedoms and the right to direct one's medical care is fundamentally about rights defined in the Ohio and U.S. constitutions, or do you think they don't get that?
I do not think that they get that. I mean, I mean, the Republicans in the state house say they get that, but from what we're seeing, it doesn't seem like they do.
Yeah, well, we had 2 Republicans that sponsored HB 559, and that bill requires you to have a doctor visit to get educated on vaccines before you can get a philosophical or religious exemption. Tell me how unconstitutional that is. And that came straight from Republicans. So it's definitely both sides of the aisles. It doesn't seem that they care about bodily autonomy or parental rights either way. I'm presuming as a libertarian, I'm one too, that you're a pretty big proponent of business and free markets. And we're getting a lot of pushback specifically on HB 193 because they're saying it's an infringement on employer rights. Do you want to speak to that at all?
Infringement on employer rights?
Yeah, if an employee not wanting to take a medical procedure that has known risks of death and injury is somehow an infringement on employer rights.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see that as an infringement on employer rights. I mean, I could expand on that, but I don't have very much time. I do have to be somewhere at 12.
Okay, well, maybe at another time that might be something to chat with a little bit about. What do you think about medical and other trade organizations influencing policy? What's your opinion on that?
I do not think that any organization, corporation should be influencing politics. I think that the government needs to stay out of organizations and vice versa.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of corporatism, and that's what we've had for quite some time in the United States and in Ohio, it seems as well. As citizens, we're often disheartened because we have a lot of lobbyists that are at the State House. We're up against these people all the time when we go in for hearings like that. They're getting lots of time. We're getting cut off. It's very frustrating for us. Would you have anything you'd like to tell people that how maybe they can impact their legislators at the State House?
I a couple months ago called the I believe it was the Speaker of the Ohio State House about a bill that was supposed to force teachers to give up information about a student being transgender. I was against that, so I very adamantly spoke my opinion on that issue.
Yeah, and I think we always encourage our viewers to contact their representatives, write letters, show up at the State House, just be persistent. And I mean, I guess that's probably just about the best thing we can do since we don't have the money behind us that the lobbyists have. So, we just have to kind of use our voices and be as loud as we possibly can. Well, I appreciate your time, and I encourage everybody that's watching to go to the polls on November 6th. It is your duty to vote. Remember how important informed consent and medical freedom are. You can use our online tools to find out which representatives are medical freedom candidates, like Ryan here. So please look those up and go down and vote for someone who supports what's important to you. Thank you so much, and thank you, Ryan, for being with us.
Thank you.